How can you prepare yourself to be strong and ready when opportunities present themselves? Then you need to figure out what your true talents or skills are. By understanding your innate abilities, you may be able to determine what to do in a given scenario and how to apply your abilities to get the desired results. We call them the 10 profiles in our Bazi chart. There are 10 main types of abilities. The key is to understand how to make the most of your Bazi chart and inherent abilities. Once you're aware of this, you may determine whether or not you want to devote time to developing these skills. What makes you happy and what success means to you is not the same for everyone. Your profile defines your sense of accomplishment and purpose in life. If you're having trouble in life, no matter how hard you try or how many sacrifices you make, keep reading to learn how to make the most of your abilities. Since we're entering a new phase from 2024 onwards, the guidelines outlined below will also apply to period 9. Your 10 profiles, healthy or unhealthy. So, what does it mean to have a healthy profile? If your profile is between 50 and 85%, it is considered healthy. It suggests that your profile will tend to be more good than negative. Anything exceeding 85%, on the other hand, may become harmful. Similarly, if your profile is less than 25% or even 0, it is more difficult for you to use those skills. Your profile's strength can fluctuate from year to year. The ones you were born with will be displayed as natal and ranked from highest to lowest percentage. It will, however, vary year to year, as indicated by the term annual. It could make acquiring specific abilities easier if it has a high percentage. Anyhow, it takes time for your skills to develop and mature. Then, the profiles that are least significant to you will be at the bottom of the list. Every person will have a unique profile. We recommend that most newcomers concentrate on their main profile, which is the profile that influences their primary abilities, even if your main profile is 100%. Additionally, we can examine the top 3 profiles in your natal chart. It's because our top 3 profiles are the most straightforward to master. It is something to which we should devote more attention. However, your 4th and 5th profiles can add value to others since they are easy to execute too. The 10 profiles, the technicalities. In a nutshell, how did this main profile come about? Technically, based on your date of birth, we can derive your main profile from the month pillar. Your best ability is determined when we examine the season at its peak and the element that is the peak of the season. Therefore, your best ability or talent is your main profile. The other profiles play an important role in rounding out your abilities and making you a whole person. It's also worth noting that the highest ranked profile may not be your primary main profile. Thus, it can be found in any of the first 3 spots. The diplomat, direct officer. Our abilities are the only thing that remains true. If direct officer, DO, is your primary profile or one of your top 3, you are more likely to display the traits listed below. Traits, operations, compliance, nurturing. The direct officer, DO, is all about bringing order from chaos. You can define regulations, standard operating procedures, or best practices for doing specific tasks. In addition, you can also ensure that everything runs well because they have a present system. For example, everything is so disorganized in a startup company. A strong DO person can establish systems that regulate and organize things. As a result, you're virtually always the boss's pet, and excellent bosses are essential for your success. The greater your boss position in the company, the more opportunities you'll have. Once you have more opportunities, you'll be able to contribute more. You can also serve as excellent cheerleaders and advisors. Because you have this nurturing capacity, people will want to talk to you. You can predict what other people desire even before they express it. It is simple for you to make friends or gain a following. Career, systematic. You can become more methodical in your job style. In your professional life, you tend to follow the system or protocol. Additionally, you should avoid doing anything that goes against the rules. However, if there are no procedures to follow, you can design your own. Others can follow the process you created and make fewer mistakes. To make oneself more productive, you should always try to automate some of your workload, processes, and operations. Consider how you might delegate some of your routine tasks to free up additional time. Finally, the best thing you can do is simplify. Others will appreciate your efforts if you can make things simple for them to understand your concept or processes. Relationship, supportive. If your direct officer, DO, is in good shape, You'll be supportive of your spouse and work to align expectations. Because you understand what others are going through, you can be patient with them. You also have compassion for people and feel empathy for them. In addition, you are also a wonderful listener and are frequently the first to console your loved ones when they are distressed. But they can't be supportive of each other if their do is unhealthy. They could be nagging one another all day, yelling, and heaping expectations on each other. Furthermore, they may lack the empathy to grasp what their partners are going through. Others do not feel emotionally supported when talking to them. However, this has lately become an issue due to the COVID pandemic, as many people lost their employment and were unable to maintain their families financially. It's even more difficult if both partners have lost their jobs simultaneously. Conversely, either one may have gone through a painful experience. Wealth protection. You have the power to restore order to the situation. Thus, you may recognize an unsafe environment and make it safe for everyone once again. However, you might be preoccupied with what could go wrong. You may also be skilled at identifying and resolving issues. It could be related to data protection, compliance, or even cybersecurity. Lastly, you may be scrutinizing the fine print of documents to protect the interests of others. Bonus: the 10 profiles, your winning arena. Now that you learn the potential of your abilities, you can determine which areas you should operate on based on our Bazi chart. The traditional interpretation of our Bazi chart can help us comprehend the following: Year pillar, your network month pillar, your career day pillar, our sales hour pillar, your children nonetheless. As long as you are doing what you are good at and in the correct job position, you may never be unemployed. The 10 profiles, period 9 strategy. However, when it comes to period 9, these pillars have different meanings. You may be capable of excelling in at least one of the areas since each pillar contains the 10 profiles too. But, if you have the following profiles in the right pillars, it will benefit you greatly. It can appear in the top row, heavenly stem, or the bottom row, hidden stem. Year pillar, attention, O/host/RW. You can use virtual means to attract attention. But, a robust social media presence is required. You can also try to increase the number of people who follow you on social media. Additionally, you must also present yourself nicely and communicate clearly. Month pillar, solution, DW/do/DR. You have the best chance of succeeding in the corporate world. But, you have to determine what your clients' requirements are. If you're self-employed, figure out what your corporate clients are demanding and provide a solution. Day pillar, philosophy, FEG. It refers to your way of thinking, like if you were thinking of creating your own business, comparable to indie businesses. You can work as a freelancer or start a home-based business. Moreover, you may create a niche market for yourself by having your product and services. Our pillar, leverage, IR/7K. You can work on any of the categories that are mentioned above. It's because you're able to bring people together. You can use others to fill in the gaps that people require, even if you don't have the answer yourself. Additionally, you can also be an angel investor,